Jason Hickel does support a change in emphasis from developing poor countries to developing wealthy nations. According to him, the existing global economic system, which is based on constant economic development and consumerism, is neither egalitarian nor sustainable. As stated by Hickel, we should place more emphasis on lowering resource use, solving inequality, and promoting well-being than encouraging additional development and consumption in already wealthy countries.
Why should we go from the paradigm of consumption and growth to one of de-development? Jason Hickel believes that we have to change the laws governing the global economy in order to end poverty. According to Hickel's theory, we must reverse the direction of economic development so that, rather than impoverished countries striving to catch up with the affluent ones, we should be getting the rich countries to catch down. There are still certain countries that are still experiencing poverty and seeking to catch up. We should consider strategies to help wealthy nations catch up to developing nations to achieve more equitable levels of development. We should study cultures where individuals enjoy long lifespans with relatively modest levels of consumption and prosperity. Why do the terms degrowth, zero growth, and de-development seem incompatible with the conventional definition of human progress? De-development, degrowth, and zero growth are evidently unacceptable because they just call for us to cease overconsumption and to start using water and natural resources more sparingly in order to prevent resource shortages on our planet. Since the terms high level of development and continuous high level of progress are mutually exclusive, this kind of framework, de-development and degrowth, are more appropriate because they allude to lagging behind the development of wealthy nations. Rich countries are intended to have suitable levels of development as part of the de-development movement. The concept of zero growth denotes a halt to growth, progress, and learning, which is also unacceptable because it runs counter to the goal of the conventional framework for human advancement. The conventional framework ignores the effects of high levels of development, such as excessive consumerism that overshot the biocapacity of our planet. The continued overconsumption poses a serious threat to our civilization, ecology, and the entire planet. How has the idea of growth been used to frame us? How much money is wasted and how many hectares worldwide are sufficient for each of us? As a measure of a country's economic output that takes into consideration its population, it can also be seen as economic growth as measured by GDP per capita. This is a reliable indicator of a nation's standard of living. It reveals how wealthy a nation feels to each of its residents. Not all nations around the world are experiencing this prosperity. In fact, there is a developing trend of global inequality, or the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, because we have developed so much that we are causing harm to the ecosystem. Humans can be seen as an invading species. The point at which our planet can no longer support humanity is rapidly approaching its limit. How can we live better lives while consuming less? By being able to identify our needs, not focusing too much on our wants, and finding the necessities that would last a long time in our hands, we would be able to better our lives and minimize consumption. Buying high-quality products would also be helpful when we need to lower our consumption. For us to be able to cut consumption, we need to reframe our lifestyle, even though it may only call for little behavioral adjustments. Regardless of the fact that we are humans, improving our lives and consuming less will always depend on us because we are the only ones who can decide what type of life we want to live.